Hey.
Hey.
If you ever come to my house, be prepared to hear 2 TV sets blasted on high, because my grandfather is that deaf, and we have to compete just to hear our TV shows.
Be prepared for my dad. Holding down the fort with his iron fist, pinpoint eyes, be prepared for the stare.
Be prepared to enter the dome of silence, because my family, they hide out in their caves. We keep quiet during the day, but turn into midnight riders during the night.
My house is the one with the long driveway, fenced up by the busy hands of my grandparents, guaranteed there will be 7 kids climbing up mandarin and grapefruit trees.
And grapefruit trees held 7 kids in my house too, except that tree had no leaves and looked a lot like the clothesline. Metal branches break just as easy as wooden ones when your Cook Island bones hold an extra few kgs.
My house is the one that everyone's aunties or uncles lived in, the one that everyone called a tinny house. We never believed it until we had random visitors knocking.
It's a bit shady.
It's a bit worn.
But it's home.
And home is a concept still growing on me.
You see, I have moved 9 times, traveled between 2 countries, 6 suburbs and 1 state. In some places, our lounge scaled out like camping grounds and our rooms were lined up like those cabins. You can say our home had legs.
A capacitating population of Stricklands got me pushed up against the edges of the South Auckland continent. The living room floor was my frozen slice of pizza, but so many heartbeats in one place, breathing the same air. The floor was never lonely.
Especially when you had posters of JTT from Home Improvement on your wall.
Or Spice Girls on your door. See, I'd plaster out my personality to reflect my independence. Away from the village, I found safety in my confined space. But my family thought they had lost me, and they did.
Lost me to my own imagination, spaced out like those stars I would plot out for a youthful vacation.
There was no hesitation. A plural by any other name would sound so profane. Don't come around here spitting words like us or ours, because this right here is mine for the first time, and I'm gonna leave those glow-in-the-dark stars up there for a little bit longer. Sometimes home resembled a launching pad.
Quick gear changed and we jumped course and sailed south to our auntie's couch. Where to next?
To the desert, so that I could find freedom and escapism.
To the stars, they're the best teachers on how to shine.
To the peak of a high mountain, where my entangled thoughts can decompose into nature's view.
You see, I'd become engaged to a vacant spot, that the home became this parking lot. A place for drive-bys, burnouts, and pit stops. I used silence as a baseline for beatdowns and volatility as an equalizer. Stretched my violent vocal cords a temperament so high that the roof started to dig itself up.
And they said the home is where the heart is, so I dissected it, just to see how the bad blood would leave the good, just how Dad did. And so our vision was altered, and financial bliss reversed into survival, and transferring over the ditch was prompted.
I found refuge in the empty sky. No corners too cold, no more standing in the back. I'm no longer just a resident that no one sees, because up here, it's all blind. No one is there to drown me out. No one is there to listen. But home was waiting for me, looking for me in the shadow, always just a footstep behind, but standing in the back. I never knew it had that much ground to keep me anchored. I never knew it had that much reach.
For me to be able to reach out at all.
For me to be able to give back and change back to that privilege that some will never ever know.
Back to that long driveway that might not look like paradise.
Might not sound like it'll spice up your life, but will hold a space for me to grow into. Home
is not a landing strip.
Home
is not a concept.
Home is a growth chart.
Is the starting point to a constellation that does not owe you the whole sky yet.
Is the metal clothesline outside made not for the purpose of swinging.
Is Mum's tuna pasta salad that held 7 mouths together.
If you ever come to my house, be prepared to enter a working progress of working class act models who taught me the value of living together.
Who taught me humility. Who wants to shine like a star if in order to do so you must exist amongst the black.
That when you choose to love, you'll eventually learn how to forgive. And that if you ever have a spare room in your home, make it your heart, because you never know when someone wants to live in its friendliness.
Home
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 has grown on me.